Hey guys, it's Matt from 5 Doc Physiotherapy and Sports Injury Centre. I hope you've had an amazing weekend, an Easter long weekend, and you've got some really awesome plans tomorrow for Anzac Day. Today we're talking hamstrings again, which is a topic that I love to talk about, so I'm really excited. If you are watching, please press a like or give us a thumbs up or even just comment below so that we know that you are there. So, most of the sports back on this weekend with the conclusion of school holidays kind of nearly here. Now, unfortunately, with sport also comes injury, and we know that hamstring injuries make up a large percentage of those sporting injuries. We also know that I guess a third of hamstring tears can recur. So today we're talking a little bit about ways to prevent a recurrence of hammy injuries, particularly. We don't want them to come back with greater severity. Unfortunately, that is often the case. Now, one of the main reasons I'd say this happens is that people are a little bit too eager to get back on the park. I know that I've certainly been in that situation. I've gone back a week earlier than my physio's told me to in the past, and I've re-torn my hammy, which really does suck, because instead of maybe the injury being a 4-week injury, it ends up being, you know, an 8-week off the park, which is very tough to fathom when you're trying to play footy. I guess it's really important to make sure that we go through and see through all of the objective markers. Now, in the natural course of a hamstring tear, you know, people normally come in and they're struggling. They initially can't walk and they definitely can't run, but even if they do or don't have rehab initially, before you know it, you're walking really well, and you can often jog quite lightly pretty quickly as well. And I guess that gives people this false sense of security that their hamstring's recovered when it really hasn't. So it's very important to be guided by your physio. Now, it's one thing, I guess, to be guided, but I guess one of the things that we try to use is a bit more of an educated guiding here, and we use what we call objective markers. So there's a few different things that we tend to use to help clear our patients and help them understand where they are along that path to return to sport or activity. The first thing we use is, I guess, muscle length. Muscle length is incredibly important. So maybe a straight leg raise or the flexibility of the muscle. So we'll use a thing called an inclinometer and also a goniometer to measure range of motion to make sure that we've got adequate length in the muscle. The second thing that we'll often do is a lot of dynamic tests. So things like jumping and lunging and different movements. Now, that often really depends on the activity in the sport that you're going to go back to. For example, a AFL player might need to have a lot of flexibility, whereas a rugby union prop might not need so much dynamic length. So we do tailor tests according to different sports and positions. The third thing that we tend to use in our clinic is this little guy. It's a handheld dynamometer. So we're able to do some strength testing and basically compare left to right, but we also can compare your quads and hamstring ratios, which is very important to make sure that we don't re-tear. And then the last thing is, I guess, we've got a bit of an exercise protocol that we tend to follow and go through. It's a staged program to help people return back to sport and activity, and a big part of this is the running program. The running program is, once again, very staged, and it's a help to return to sprinting primarily, and we've got 5 stages in that. So it's really important that we progress back to that, then to training, then to match day type work if you were playing, you know, sport per se. The problem is that if you miss some of these steps or don't hit one of these markers, then re-injury is quite common, unfortunately. So I guess my advice is, if you injure your hammy, first thing is to make sure you get it seen to ASAP. And the second thing is make sure you follow the full and complete advice of your physio so that you do get back on the field, but stay on the field and don't end up with the same injury recurring and really ruining your season. If you'd like some more information on hammy tears, we've actually got a blog at the moment, and I believe there's some links that you can follow both in our bio on Instagram or with this post as well. Please read our blog. But if you do have an injury, give us a call in the clinic, 97132455. Hopefully these hot tips have been good for you, and we wish you all the best this weekend if you are back at sport, and hope you have a wonderful Anzac Day celebration as well. Matt from 5 Doc Physiotherapy and Sports Injury Centre here. Cheers, guys.